Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Everyone, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. My Dhanavad Pranam devotees, I'm very happy to be here. I think last time I was here, maybe 2 years ago, maybe more. I'm getting older. Huh? I was here last year. Okay, so this real sign that aging is happening. Understand? But it's okay, because now coming again, I consider to be the extreme mercy of Srila Gurudev, and also for a chance to serve the Hari Katha of our Guru Vargas, especially Srimad Bhagavat, is very, very highly auspicious. So today's verse is from Srimad Bhagavatam, the first canto, second chapter, 18th verse. Nasta praisho bhadreshu nityam bhavata sevyam bhavati uttama shlokir bhakti bhavati vaishnavi. So Shri Vyasadeva Ji, and then Sukdev Goswami Ji, and Simli Sutta Goswami, to the sages in Namasaranya, they're speaking this shlok, saying Nasta praishu abhadreshu. Abhadra means something that is inauspicious. Bhadra means auspicious. Abhadra means something inauspicious. Nashta means completely destroying, but here he's using another word in Sanskrit, prayeshu. So praya in Sanskrit means like completely, almost, just about to end, but something remains. So our bhatras, what is that abhadra? What is inauspicious in the life of every jiva is called avidya. The word avidya means the lack of knowledge of who am I. In our Chaitanya Charitamrita of Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami, in the section in which he's giving instructions to our Sanatana Goswami, Sanatana Goswami asks the prime question for every human being. Keami, kenyamai, jareta patrai. Keami, who am I? And why am I suffering in this world? This is the prime questions for human existence. Any person who's not risen to the level to ask this question, their human potential has not fully manifested. If this question doesn't come in your life, in Sanskrit also it's called mati, discrimination. If this discrimination doesn't come in your life to ask, who am I? And what will spawn that question is the second question, why am I suffering? If anybody is not suffering, they don't care to ask the question. If everything is okay, business is okay, relationship okay, finances okay, everything is okay, I don't care, it doesn't matter who I am, everything is good. But when things go bad, then questions come. Understand? So, Sanatana Goswami is asking, because I'm suffering in this world due to the influence of three gun, means three modes of material nature, he's asking, why am I suffering? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu answered the question very succinctly. Jivara Swarupuya Krishna Nitya Das. You are the Das of Krishna. This is your actual identity. Sometimes we think this is like a philosophy. But what Mahaprabhu is speaking here is the reality. We are all the Das of Krishna. The word Das means servant. Jiva Goswami also is writing in the Sandaras, Paramahansa Sandara, the last quality he describes, 21 qualities of the Atma, the soul. The very last quality he describes is Paramaika Seshita. The word Seshita and Dasita mean the same thing. That we are constitutionally and unavoidably the servant of God. You cannot change that fact. You may know it, you may not know it. Jiva Goswami also spoke. Dasa Bhuti Adiyeva Nanyasha Eva Kavachana. At no time can you be something else. But our vision is very powerful. Maya is very powerful. So Maya has convinced every jiva, you're something other than the Das of Krishna. So whenever you ask anybody, who are you? You say, I am. Aham. I am so-and-so. And this is Mamata, my wife. So Aham Mameti has replaced the idea of being Das of Krishna. Aham Menti replaces the idea of the Dasa Krishna. So we think I am also the Kartaka, means the doer of everything in my life. So I am the cause of my good fortune, my success in life. I'm the cause of the wonderful activities of my children. And when they go bad, then it's not my fault. So we also think I am the doer. But in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is telling, Prakriti Kriyamanani Gunai Kamani Savasha Ahamkara Vimuratma Katamikramiti. This idea, Aham Mameti, I and mine, is the very source of illusion. And once that illusion is present, then duality arises. So from avidya comes asmita. The word asmita, asmi in Sanskrit means I am. Ita means in the condition of thinking, I'm something other than the Dasa Krishna. From that, according to your karma file, according to your karma, you get different designations. My name is John Doe. I was born in this family, in this country. My mother's name is Sally Doe. My father's Bob Doe. We are the Dodo family. And in this way, we develop one upadi or designation after another. All of them are false. Because will they be there in the next life? You'll be John Doe again in the next life? No. So they're all temporary and false identities. So because we're not acting according to my real identity, dasosmi, then naturally a sort of schizophrenia takes place. Schizophrenia, everybody knows, like a confusion in the mind. I'm thinking I'm this material body, but actually I'm Dasa Krishna, eternal Atma. And the Atma never touches this material world. Everybody knows this? The Atma itself never touches the material world. It's written in Upanishad. Asambhati Anyam Purusha. The Purush, the person, the Atma, never touching Maya. Maya, looking at the illusory energy. So I've given an example before. If you watch a movie on a big screen TV, and you're looking at the movie, and you become invested in that movie, the hero, the heroine, the plot, then everything that happens, you also are there. You're watching any scary movie, and this time the unfortunate persons are about to enter the arena or the place where the people are being killed. What do? Oh my God, don't go there. You're talking to your TV owner. Don't go there. Oh my God, why are you going in that room? Don't go. And then you close your eyes. You're actually there in that TV set? No. But because you're identifying with it so strongly, you feel it. Same way the Atma's feeling the duality and the problems of this material world, although the Atma is not actually functionally present here. Understand? So he's saying, how will we remedy this? Because you cannot make this arrangement to change it by yourself. Has anybody ever heard about quicksand? You know, quicksand. If you will step in this quicksand, then every time you move, you go deeper and deeper. Similarly, anytime the jiva thinks, I can get myself free from Maya, you only become more and more sunk inside of Maya. In the Srimad Bhagavat, it will later say, Anadi avidya yuktasya. Our connection with this vidya, avidya, is from anadika. Means no time beginning. Anadi avidya yuktasya purushasya vedatmanam. Swato na sambhavanti. You cannot get yourself out. This is going to be purport of our verse here. You can't get out yourself, because it's like quicksand. If you're in quicksand, who do you need to help you? Another person. So he's saying, it requires another person. Who? Guru Sadhu. By the mercy of Guru Sadhu, by the transcendental knowledge coming from Guru Sadhu, this is the only way to become free from the Maya avidya of this world. So here Sri Vyasadeva Ji is saying, how will you remedy your situation of being in this material world? Oh, Nasta Prayeshu, by your surrender to the idea that I need help, this will bring you to the point of Nitya Bhagavata Seva. Nitya Bhagavata Seva means Sravan Seva, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, and also Guru Sadhu Seva, serving any Vaishnava, any Sadhu. This will also help to destroy the attachment to this avidya. Why? Because Guru has a special potency. The very word Guru, I think last time I was here I spoke on this. The word Guru is actually the Aksha, the two consonant, Gu and Ru. So it's mentioned, Gu Shabdat Andakarasha. Gu means darkness, this avidya, this maya. Ru Shabdat Andakarasha Nirodhita. That kind of knowledge which can remove ignorance, and the person who imparts that knowledge is called Guru. Normally this is done by sadhu, because if the Guru thinks I am Guru, he's also in Maya. It's called Guru Abhiman. You understand? So the Guru thinks I am a Guru. You understand? There's also another kind of Maya. So the sadhu, he's the one performing the service of Guru, giving enlightenment or illumination. That illumination comes from two sources, Sastra and the embodiment of Sastra. So here it's mentioned, Bhagavat Seva. What is Bhagavat? Ego Bhagavat, Bhagavat Sastra. Means the Srimad Bhagavatam itself. Ora Bhagavat, Bhagavat Bhakti Rasapatra. That person who was the embodiment of the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam. These two kind of Bhagavats, if you render service to them, then the Shakti coming from that Seva will remove all Abhadra. It says here though, Prayation. Praya means almost. What is still required? Even if you will do all service, all sudden bhajan, everything, still what is required? Oh, all kids coming? You're going to sit to hear? A service. Oh, okay, alright. What one thing is remaining? What is needed? Even if you come and you do surrender, because actually the jiva, the only thing that you have at your disposal is called Saranagati. Saranagati begins with the inner desire called Prapati. I want to surrender. I realize the material world is miserable. I'm not winning this fight. Even with all my money, all my friends, my good business, my good wife, my good husband, my good children even. You understand? I'm not winning this fight. Because still problems will come. You cannot avoid. Birth, old age, disease, you can't avoid these things. You understand? So, still problems will come. Did I tell you the story of Rukmana King before? Did I tell? There's a very wonderful story I heard when I was preaching in Africa. One sannyasi, he was traveling, I was traveling with him to do kirtan. He told a wonderful story of Rukmana King. Rukmana King was a young boy in a very nice village. And one day he was walking with his mother and he saw one funeral pyre, some cremation. And he saw all of the relatives, they were standing around and they were weeping bitterly and crying. And he said, Mother, what is that? She said, oh, my son, this is death. This is the last thing in our life. And at the very end, you'll have to go on this funeral pyre. Rukmana King said, no. I will never go on that fire. Never, ever. So someone said, son, listen, this is life. Everyone has to grow old. Everyone will have to end this life at some time. No, Mother, never. And he ran away. He ran and he went to one village. And in that village, being a young boy, one mystic saint saw him and said, what this young boy is doing? Roaming around in the forest by himself. You come and stay with me in my ashram. He was a very great mystic yogi. And taking a liking to Rukmana King, he began to teach him the science of mystic yoga, Astasiti yoga. And Rukmana King was very dedicated because he was motivated that if I will learn this Astasiti, that way I will never have to go on that fire I saw. So very soon he grew up, learned so many lessons and became very proficient. At that time he said, now I will go back to my village and I will show you can conquer the fire of death. So Rukmana King went back to his village and he began telling, listen. From my mystic city, I know even the day that I will leave this world, so-called. Even I've heard that Yamaraj himself is coming personally. I want all of you to come so you can bear witness to the power of Rukmana King. So on the appointed day, all the villagers were talking among themselves. Has the son of our, did he gone crazy? What happened? This boy is telling Yamaraj is coming here. He's telling that he can even avoid death, even if Yamaraj himself will come. So all the villagers, they gathered around, one large circle. So many people were there. Suddenly, they saw one ominous shadow coming from the tree line. And they said, oh, it's Yamaraj. First, everybody thought to run away, but the Rukmana King said, no, you stay. You witness the power of Rukmana King. None of you will ever be afraid. standing in a straight line. Yamaraj, he walked and he looked at all the villages. Then he clapped. Rukman Hakim, how great is he? Look, just look at the mystic power of Rukman Hakim. Even I cannot tell which Rukman Hakim is real Rukman Hakim. Only he made one mistake. Other than that, everything is perfect. Rukman Hakim was thinking, what is he speaking? Everything is perfect. He can't even tell who's who. So Yamaraj laughed again and said, oh, I'm so amazed at this power of Rukman Hakim. Still, if it was not for this one mistake, everything would be so wonderful. Rukman Hakim became so overwhelmed because of false ego, pride, everything. He stepped out of the line and said, what mistake I made? I said, this one only. We took it. Understand? So it's not possible to avoid the miseries of this world, especially the final thing, which is death. We cannot avoid. But he's saying here, by Bhagavat Seva, Nitya Bhagavat Seva, not Bhagavat Seva, Nitya Bhagavat Seva, then practically everything can be destroyed to nil. The only thing that will remain is the kripa of Guru, Mahaprabhu, and Bhagavan. That's why it says Prayeshu. Prayeshu means if you will do prapatti and then act on it. What is the actions of prapatti? Anukulyasya sankalpa pratikulyasya vivajana. If you will do what is favorable for the service of Hari Guru and Vaishnava and stay away from what is unfavorable for Hari Guru Vaishnava Seva, this is all you can do. Does anybody know this show? Anukulyasya sankalpa pratikulyasya vivajana. What is the next line? Rakshishiti Vishwas. To take up Vishwas means a conviction. Rakshishiti Vishwas, Goptavevananantata. Who will protect and maintain the bhakti? You? Who will maintain and protect bhakti? Bhagavan. Guru and Bhagavan. You understand? Because even in bhakti you have to give up karta bhakti. I am the doer. Actually, in bhakti becomes more mature. More so you become like a witness to the glory of the power of Guru and Mahaprabhu and bhakti. This is called sakshitva. I am like a witness, seeing how powerful is the mercy of my Gurudev, how powerful is the mercy of Mahaprabhu. In this way, you realize that bhakti is protecting me. Because bhakti comes from bhakti. So Guru and Mahaprabhu, they are protecting your bhakti and maintaining it. After that, Atmanikshet Karpanya, therefore become very humble. You understand? Mahaprabhu told, if you want to continuously chant the holy name, which is the essence of Bhagavat Seva, because you receive instruction from Guru to chant Harinam. How will you chant this Nam? Trinada Pisunich. If you become very, very humble, then the holy name very easily will manifest in your heart, and Sada, Kirtaniya Sadhari, you can always chant. And in this way, you receive the mercy of Guru Parampara, Mahaprabhu, Radha Krishna. In this way, our bhakti becomes strong. At last, you receive the kripa directly coming from the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. That kripa will become your perfection. So, Nasta Prashu Bhagrishu, Nitya Bhagavata Sevyam, Bhagavati, Bhakti Bhagavati Naishtaki. So, in this way, the bhakti which becomes established in the heart by this process of Bhagavat Seva, Book Bhagavat and Sadhu Bhagavat, that which is established in the heart is irrevocable. It cannot be lost. Understand? Any gain that you make in bhakti is permanent. If you become a millionaire in this life, when you take birth again and you come out of the womb to your mother, remember my bank balance. Anybody can say like that? Understand? Sometimes you see a prodigy. Prodigy means like somebody who's carried over a talent from a previous life. In your karma fall, that may happen. But none of your possessions you can have. You grow up and you come back to your mansion that you had previously. You say, oh, who's living here now? And the person comes out, they don't even know you. Hey, get off of my lawn. Understand? So, but what you can take with you into your next life is whatever bhakti vasanas that you have in this life. Bhakti vasana means your impressions from this life, you'll carry to the next life. And your bhakti will pick up from that place. Rupa Goswami in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu said, this is actually the how we advance in bhakti. Praktarat aduni chasti yatsat bhakti vasana. These samskars and vasanas from one life to another are like a stepping stone. So in one life I could not come even to the stage of wisdom. But then the next life, from where I left off, I will pick up, and therefore very easily in that life you see someone may come to Nishta. Or in the next life they may obtain Ruchi. Or in any following life they will go from Ruchi, and from that Ruchi they will have Asakti. And in the stage of Asakti they will only await the grace of Bhagavan, the mercy of Radharani, for the descent of the internal energy of God called Swarup Shakti. This internal spiritual energy will come, and Rupa Goswami said it takes over the functions of your chitta. At that time, your entire consciousness becomes fully awakened to your own identity. Kayami, who am I? Oh, I am so and so related to Krishna. Understand? Why am I suffering? I'm not. Because I realize my actual identity. More so, I'm not only suffering because the Atma, if it is devoid of bhakti, can only experience limited levels of ananda. If you will obtain moksha, right, you will attain freedom from the three gunas. You will experience Atma Ananda. Atma Ananda, Jiva Goswami says, is called Dukkha Pratiyogika. I don't have any misery. Does there say any misery in the Atma itself? In the soul itself, is there misery? No. So this is a good question. If there's no misery in the soul, where does misery come from? This is my question. False identification. So just like you can have two chemicals, and the chemicals, when they're separated, they're benign. They don't have any issues. But if you mix them together, they can become incendiary or even explosive. So in the same way, when the Atma doesn't mix with the material energy, there is no misery. Only when the Atma identifies with the material world does dukkha arrive. Other than that, the Atma is dukkha pratiyogita. So if you obtain moksha, freedom from trigun, then you'll experience Atmananda. If you're more fortunate, you'll realize, oh, but there has to be an Ananda superior to this. And therefore you'll search out in your heart, how can I have more bliss? And then you'll realize the Brahma Jyoti, and becoming Sayuj with that Brahma Jyoti, you'll experience Brahma Ananda. But then you'll think, but still there must be something more. And then I'll think, what can I do more to get more Ananda? Then you get Paramatma Darshan. Getting the darshan of Paramatma, your Ananda will be more. And then you think, how can I have relation to this Paramatma? And then Sri Narayan, if I could, will show his room. Lakshmi Narayan will appear there with Garuda and all associates. And you'll think, I want to serve. And you'll taste Dasya Ananda. Then you'll see the beautiful form of Sri Ramchandraji, Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman. And you'll hear the beautiful Harikatha of Sri Ram Leela. My Gurudev used to sometimes speak Ramayana Katha and visibly cry. And even those who didn't speak Hindi, when Gurudev would get there and start crying, everyone's crying in the audience. So I'm saying, Prabhu, do you understand what he said? I don't know, but it was very moving. One time I was in Africa, and I was preaching in Zambia. And there's a very famous sadhu named Morari Bapu. Has anybody heard Morari Bapu? He came to Zambia to do, he does 9 days Ramayana Katha. So he came and they asked the devotees, could you do kirtans within a minute every night? You do some kirtan before they start the Ramayana. So he would come and for 9 days. Also there's always a little kirtaniya group with him, everything. It was the most amazing thing. I don't speak Bhojpuri, so I have no idea. But he was so kind. He would invite myself and some other devotees over, and he speaks English, so he would tell some things he's saying of Ramayana. And it was very wonderful. Very, very high class of sadhu. High class of sadhu. I've heard. I cannot tell everything in his katha, so I cannot vet everything. But I know very moving katha. But hearing this kind of katha, you think, what is the beauty of Sri Ram Leela? Understand? I was giving Ram Katha during Ram Navami. And just in the Uttarakhand of Ramayana, of course, Tulsidasi did not write the Uttarakhand because very sad things are there. But also very wonderful things are there. You understand? And I think it's so beautiful. And I understand why Gurudev, in his young age, he also was very attached to Ram. And so Gurudev, hearing Ram Leela, he would have so much emotion. Understand? But then after that, seeing how in Ram Leela, the seeds for another Leela were planted, which is Krishna Leela. Then hearing about the sweetness of Raj, Iti Drikshwali Radhirananda Kunde, Swadoshani Manjantam, Arapayam Chita Tvam. Satyavrata Muni is telling, listen, the residents of Vrindavan, Swagosha, his own place, this is my people. Nimanjantam in Sanskrit, Nimanjantam literally means almost forcibly submerged. It doesn't mean just to be submerged, it means by force. By the force of their praying and the sweetness of that praying, they were forcibly immersed in Kund of Ananda, highest kind of Ananda. Understand? So one would think, oh, what is the sweetness of this Braj Lila? Hearing the sweetness of this Braj Lila, Gurudev said, some low, some green. How can I taste that kind of Ananda? Like Maya Shola Marajananda, like Subal Sridhar, more like Gopis, and especially like Shri Rupa Manjari. Especially in this line, Shri Rupa Manjari Pada, Shri Mora Shambhada. Say more, bhajana, puja, all my bhajan, puja, everything is only to obtain the anugati of this Rupa Manjari. Understand? Highest kind of Ananda. Where there's the highest kind of love, there's the highest kind of happiness. But we should not think that people are cheating. I was just in one conversation, I'd be mindful of time here, in one conversation with devotees, and they were questioning, well, wait a minute. If this Manjari Bhav, so-called, is the highest thing, then how come everybody else who gets something up, what will they feel? Sanatana Goswami answered in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, any person who has any rasa with Krishna, they feel completely satisfied and they don't want any other rasa. Nobody is cheating. And even if you think they were, Premaiva Goparamanam Kama Vidyat Matpratam Uruvadati Deha Avajanti Bhagavat Priya. All the different devotees from all different incarnations get the full satisfaction of tasting the intensity of Madhurya Rasa in Gaur Lila. In a special kind of mood of Dasyaras to Mahaprabhu, in the Srivas Angan, during the kirtan there, they taste the intensity of what was Ras Lila. So nobody's ever cheated. And therefore the final Lila for Krishna is only complete when Gaur Lila comes. Krishna himself is telling, Purva Braja Vilasi Etina Vilas. Even after performing my Braj Lila, still 3 desires remained in my heart. What 3 desires? Anyone? Shri Radha Pranaya. Kirjusa Bhageva. Understand? So Jena Bhutta Madhurima, Kirjusam Bhavati, etc. So he's saying 3 desires remain. What is the Pranaya of Radhika? What is the glory for love? What it is about my Chatu Madhuri, my 4 kinds of special sweetness, that she tastes in an exceptional way? Chokyam Chasya. What is her happiness that even I don't experience? The only way I can taste this is if I will have a form with the bhav like Radharani. I'm telling one secret thing and then we'll start to take some questions. In the very end of Ramananda Samvad, Mahaprabhu was speaking to Ramananda Roy and says, if you like, there is one more subject which is very deep. It is called Prem Vilas Vivad. And he began to speak on this Prem Vilas Vivad, and Mahaprabhu became so enchanted, he covered the mouth of Ramananda Roy. Why? Because this Prem Vilas Vivad is the very mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when Radha and Krishna inverse their roles, and the Vishai, means the object of love, takes the position of the repository of love and fully experiences the sweetness of that mood. This is called Mahaprabhu. So this is the highest kind of Ananda. And we are so fortunate. It does not matter what was our karma, what was our... I was a boy playing basketball in Brooklyn, New York. And now I'm speaking about Radha Dasya. What is the mercy of Mahaprabhu? If you did not know it before, you can see now. You understand? Jagai and Madais in America were plenty. You understand? Nityananda delivered one Jagai and Madai. But Nityananda didn't come to Brooklyn. But our Guru Fathers, our Srila Prabhupada came. Gurudev came to New York. The first time that Gurudev came to the West, I met Gurudev 86 at Kesaki Gaudiya. But at that time I got my job in 1996. I couldn't go to India, and Gurudev used to write me on the blue folding aerograms. I still have mine. So I will not come to America, but you should come to India. I'll take care of everything. So finally in 96, he wrote one that he said, I'm going to get on that flying machine. It was coming. So in that very year, I met Gurudev. He came to Maryland, and I was able to take full shelter of Gurudev then, and everything. And so this is the mercy of Mahaprabhu, because on Golila only, our Guru Vargas are traveling everywhere under the order of Mahaprabhu to give mercy. But even in Srimad Bhagavatam, Vyasadeva gave a foul Stuti verse. The third verse of Bhagavatam is Ashirvad verse. And the last line says, what is Vyasadeva's blessing if you study this Bhagavatam? Ahom Muhur means again and again. Rasika Bhuvi Bhavika means Rasik Bhavu Vaishnavas will be roaming the earth, and he's giving the Ashirvad, you'll meet one. You understand? And then Mahaprabhu gave the further blessing that from his order, so we are traveling all over the world, and they're spreading this kind of teaching. Jai Shri Gurudeva ki jai, Shri Sachinanand Gaurari ki jai, Jai Shri Shri Govinda ki jai, Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. So I'm leaving a little bit of time for some few questions, if there are any, or if anybody would like to share anything also. And Samuel, something is also there? Okay. I'm trying to speak for both persons. And you have some familiarity. You've been coming here. Okay. Also, I did some deep study. Samuel also has part of a religious tradition that's very intrinsic to Africa, actually. And when I was preaching in Africa, I did a lecture at the University of Ife. And at the University of Ife, I was invited by one doctor there to stay at his home, and he was going to invite me and the professors from the university to come by to hear about the synthesis between Vedic culture and African culture. All of the professors who came by were all Babalawis. So it was a whole conversation about the Old Ifa. This is something specific to his practice. The Old Ifa and our Vedic teachings and everything. So it was really, really, really incredible night. Unfortunately, that same time I caught malaria. All at the same time. Fortunately, I was in the house of a doctor. So I had to stay there for 1 week and so forth. But any questions? Short question now? Mataji?
How does one overcome the disadvantage for those people who did not get to meet Gurudev in person? How do you console yourself into having missed that opportunity?
Because any person that you see who's speaking any Harikatha, it is Gurudev as the Prakash in their Harikatha. I was putting on a festival in North Carolina for Gurudev, but Gurudev was not well. He stayed here in Houston that year. So Gurudev, we called, and Gurudev was speaking to me on the phone, and he said, how's the festival going? I said, oh, Gurudev, it's very well. So-and-so Maharaj has spoken, so-and-so Maharaj has spoken, so-and-so Didi spoke. He said, who's speaking? So I said, Gurudev, I repeated it. So-and-so Maharaj, this Maharaj. He said, no, who was speaking? So I put the phone on speaker. And all of us at the same time said, Gurudev. So, because we thought that Gurudev didn't hear. He said, no, I am speaking. So any sadhu you see, any devotee you see speaking, the Harikatha is only the Prakash of Srila Gurudev. You understand? So in this way, if you have deep faith in the Harikatha, then all of Gurudev's Shakti, even our Guru Varga Shakti, it will come into your heart. This is the meaning of one verse in Bhagavatam, Satam Prasanga Mamaveya Samvido. In the association of a sadhu, Satam, Prasanga takes place. It means if you're Sanagit and the sadhu is bona fide, then your heart will open and the sadhu's heart will open. And then Mamaveya means Krishna's own Shakti, Swarup Shakti, will enter the samvad of that sadhu and come into your heart. So have no, but your mood also of feeling separation from Gurudev also will make your heart stronger. This is, Gurudev told me, the last darshan at Gurudev, that while Gurudev is present in his Leela, we can't really truly understand what his Vishwamena Guru said. When Gurudev went to Samadhi, the disciple is forced to go very deep in their bhajan mood. That time Vishwamena Seva will come more. Any other question, comment, anything? Anything you want to add, Vishnu Prabhu, or the same devotees? Tell me.
5 minutes, maybe you can speak a little bit about different types of anartha, very simple way to explain different types of anartha.
So Vishnu Prabhu is asking me to speak about the anarthas. Anarthas and abhadras mean the same thing. So there are actually 4 types of 4 anarthas. So the main anarthas will rise from previous bad karmic activities and so forth. Some anarthas will rise due to even sukriti utta, sukriti duskriti utta. Also, especially the 4 types like swarup brahm. It means not having knowledge about who we are. And then what other? Asatrishna. Attachment to useless things. Riddhaya dubharyam. It means the tendency especially for pratishta, etc., etc. So in this way, these are anarthas that attack us while we're on the path of bhakti. But in a more general sense, for everyone, even those who haven't taken to the path of bhakti, the abhadras are the features of avidya that we describe. But on the path of bhakti, also there are challenges. And these anarthas will be removed by the potency coming from the Kripa Shakti of Bhagavan and Guru Parampara. Like in the Kram of Bhakti, are those Shraddha. So Shraddha is the first thing. Then Sadhu Sangha. But that Shraddha is not just faith. That faith has a power to break the cycle of our connection with material energy. So it's described, Shraddha Anumayani Varjam, Bhakti Unmukhi Chitta Vitvishesha. It can actually turn you away from the material world and turn you towards Bhagavan. Once you turn towards Bhagavan, Bhagavan kindly sends you someone to guide you. Ramana Brahmati Kaun Bhagavajin, Guru Vishnu Sarikaya, Bhakti Bhaktavij. Then you invest your faith in that sadhu. This is called Sadhu Sangha. The sadhu teaches how to do bhajan practice. The word kriya here means the practice, but it also means the kriya shakti, kripa shakti of Bhagavan that subsidizes the practice. Because by our own power can we create pure love of God? You cannot. You can't. In Chaitanya Charitamrita is written, Nitya Sri Krishna Prema Sabjak Kabunai. You can't create it. And you can't remove the anarthas either. So the Kriya Shakti and the Kripa Shakti of Bhagavan then will remove the anarthas. From Sadhu Sangha will come the removal of anarthas, and then the stage of Nishta will come. But it doesn't happen like in big blocks, right? Just gradually. So it may be that some anarthas are lingering, but prominently you're practicing every day. Chanting your Harinama fixed number. If you've taken Diksha, you're chanting your mantras at the right time, with right mood, everything. But still some hauntings are there. Understand? Then gradually those hauntings go away, and Nishtaya, Nashakti Nishta, the chitta becomes very steady. At that time, when you hear Harikatha, then the sweetness of the mood or rasa in that Harikatha comes onto the chitta. That's called Ruchi. And then that will make you inspired to practice more. So Ataha Bhajan Ruchi Vishai, you become very attached to your Bhajan Sadhana. Then after that, you become attached to the object of the bhajan, etc., etc. But preliminarily, we should all, in a very humble mood, find, if you do not have already, any sadhu whom you can have deep faith in and receive guidance. You don't have to immediately take an initiation, because association with a sadhu begins by hearing their Harikatha, getting to know them. Even in Hari Bhakti Vilas is mentioned, 1 year should be mutual pariksha. Disciple should examine Guru, Guru should examine disciple. So no rush. But to hear from sadhu, then make a connection and come in parampara. Because parampara is like the shelter to protect us from the rainfall of a bhajra coming from the material world. Okay? It is our protection. Alright, I will be on time to end. Jai Gaur Premanande. One last thing. I finally, by Gurudev's mercy, have finished one compilation and writing on the essential practices of bhakti. And this is a book on what is called Sambandha, Avideya, and Prayojan, which are the 3 segments of our practice. And here, quoting verses from our Sastra, from our Gurudev, how we apply these things in our practical practice of bhakti, So I wrote a very small book in that regard. This is only a proof. So the actual book will come out, I think, in 2 weeks, the book team has said, and I will communicate with you, and it will be on Amazon and other places.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So thank you again for the wonderful Hari Katha. As you can see, Mukunda Prabhu's native language is neither Hindi and certainly not Sanskrit, right? Oh, okay. But see, this is the, not the native language, right? But how beautiful he was chanting these Sanskrit shlokas. So this is the power of Guru Kripa. So as he was saying, this is only by the mercy of Guru and Vaishnavas and the power of this process. The power of this process that has transformed lives all over the globe. So we request everyone to please take some time every day to read Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. If you don't get time during the week, come to the temple every Sunday. We are studying from Srimad Bhagavatam. Very beautiful things you will learn as we study Srimad Bhagavatam and also participate in Kirtan and now the Aarti. So please everyone can stand up. We will do Aarti and after that we have Prashadam. Hari Bol. So if everyone can just take a minute to put your chairs in the back.